Thank you, Jacques. It's an honor to be asked to say a few words about Victor Roggli. I've known Victor for more than 4 decades. When I came and joined our residency program at the invitation and urging of Bill Bradford, Victor was already on the faculty, and we've worked together since 1984, both at Duke and at the Durham Veterans Hospital. And Victor has always been sort of one jump ahead of me in his career. He has been on the faculty longer than I have, so he's one of the only people, him and Bill, who've been on the faculty in pathology longer than I have. And I've really enjoyed working with him. I see him as sort of a mentor figure, although there were 2 times in my career when I was actually his boss. Once was over at the VA when I was the service chief for quite a while over there. And then when I was the interim chair in 2015, I was actually his boss again. And he was always a wonderful person to have in my crew. But it's been a great honor to work with him. And looking back over the time I've known him, there are 2 things that I would say about him. The first is that in his career, although he's a wonderful diagnostic pathologist and a wonderful academic pathologist, if I had to come up with one thing that would define the peak of his abilities, it's as a teacher. As Xiaoti mentioned, he's had this wonderful fellowship in pulmonary pathology that trained several people who are current and past faculty members. He teaches residents with great gusto. He's a really enthusiastic teacher of medical students. He has this collection of gross lung specimens in plastic containers that is, I think there probably isn't a collection like that anywhere else in the world. And he's curated and built this collection. And every year he would bring it out and show it to the first year medical students and try to get them interested in pulmonary pathology. So he's a wonderful pathologist, but I think of him first and foremost as a teacher, and he's been one of my favorite teachers. The other thing I would say about Victor is that he's a person of indomitable spirit. So he has dealt for most of his life with sort of serious medical things that he has had to deal with. And he's never been very private about it. He'll talk about it if anybody wants to talk about it. He hasn't offered it. You know, it's not sort of in the foreground of his discourse with people. And I remember I've seen him in the workplace with an IV port in his arm because he was getting intravenous antibiotics for pneumonia. I have seen him riding around on a little scooter with a canister of nasal oxygen. So he's had some formidable things to deal with. I have never heard him complain about any of this stuff. And I have never seen him have that be an impediment to his doing whatever he wanted to do. So he's had this wonderful active career as an academician. He's traveled the world, so he and Linda and Sarah and I have gone to many Society for Ultrastructural Pathology conferences. We've been together in Crete. We've been together walking around at the Colosseum in Rome. We were on the other side of the world standing upside down in Sydney, Australia a couple of years ago. So nothing has ever impeded him doing any of those things. And then maybe the most amazing thing is that in addition to all that, he's a decorated karaoke singer. The man is a wonderful vocalist, and he's won awards for it. Now, the thing that maybe sums this up for me is there's a popular song that I suspect Victor has sung in karaoke called The Duke of Earl. And the protagonist in The Duke of Earl says, "Nothing will stop me now, because I'm the Duke of Earl. Nothing will stop me now, because I'm the Duke of Earl." And I don't think anything will ever stop Victor. So for the last quarter of a century or so, I've been documenting my interactions with him through poetry. And Linda had a wonderful party for him for his 50th birthday, which she got a big karaoke machine, and we all sang karaoke at his party. And she commissioned a limerick from me, and I wrote, "Said a poet, his eyes wild and goggly, I can't sleep and my mind is all boggly. I stayed up half the night, and yet try as I might, I can't think of a word rhymed with Roggli. Roggli is a little bit unusual name. I dare say I've never known another Roggli. And apparently the spell checker thought it was a little bit difficult because he got an email that was directed to Dr. Toggle. And so about 6-7 years ago, I wrote, "New computers our lives have enriched, but their spell checking's buggy and glitched. Dr. Toggle," they say, read his email today and discovered his name had been switched. And then finally, I mentioned he's a person who knows things about all sorts of esoteric conditions. In his honor, I wore a tie that's got zebras on it. So one of the things that he has mentioned several times in lectures is individuals getting infections with dog heartworms, dirofilaria, and it goes to their lungs and forms these little granuloma type lesions that look radiologically like cancers. So he's written about this. Though some of the pictures are gory, Roggli's nodule review brought him glory. For dirofilaria, he tops the area. Truly a heartwarming story. Victor, congratulations.
Thank you.